So I had to take Plan B about 2 weeks ago, and I got my period, which is great. Trust me, it's great. But after, about half an hour, as one usually thinks, the universe can have it bad now. So let me tell you about my experience taking Plan B for the first time ever as a disabled person and how it's affected me and my period as a disabled person. Happy Disability Awareness Month, this is what we are starting with, and if you would like to support my work as a self-employed disabled creator, I do have a Patreon where we talk about more things and you get more exclusive content, all depending on how much you support every month. So I took Plan B about 2 weeks ago, and I knew my period was supposed to be coming about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and lo and behold, October 1st, happy Halloween to me, my period has come. And I knew especially that it was coming 24 hours beforehand because I started cramping a hell of a lot more than usual before it even started. I was feeling a lot more bloated and had a lot more cramps. Granted, the bloated part could also be because I had 2 packets of the Samyang creamy carbonara spicy noodles. I'm sure that didn't help. I'm sure that played a role in it, but I'm going to assume that it probably wasn't all of it, because the next day I did end up getting my period. On a regular basis, I get incredibly fatigued on my period. I have a lot of pain. The cramps are so depending. It's kind of on and off. I get the cramps in one cycle, not so much on the other. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's okay. I do usually get a lot of tailbone pain. Doesn't help that it's been broken twice, and I have back pain on a regular basis, and I get extremely fatigued during this time as well. Something about this. So the side effects, or at least the next menstrual cycle effects, they say that could happen. It can be early, it can be late, heavier than normal, lighter than normal, longer than normal, more or less painful than usual. And what I'm being hit with is the heavier than normal and the more painful part. I had to go make a supplies run at Target yesterday, and it was the first full-fledged day of this. October 1st it came, but it wasn't as heavy. But yesterday, holy crap. So I had to go on a supply run. Now, granted, it was 90 degrees here in Omaha. It was just awful. I was so close to, or I felt like I was close to vomiting and just passing out in the middle of Target while I'm trying to get my supplies and some other things. I'm very happy that I got a regular big cart so that I could at least lean on it while I'm trying to get around the store. And it was a super Target, so it was even bigger than usual. My cramps were so bad. My tailbone felt 2 times worse than it normally does. I also noticed the week before I was getting a tension headache that included throbbing, pulsing right here. Now originally I did chalk that up to my TMD, chalked it up to that because I remember that's how I ended up going to the doctor and getting diagnosed 10 years ago. It's because of the pulsing. And maybe possibly it could be because I irritated the hell out of my jaw last week, but I'm starting to think that maybe it might also have to do with just PMSing, but in the strangest way, because it had never lasted so long. It had never lasted a week long since about a decade ago when I got diagnosed with TMD. It wasn't excruciatingly painful or anything. I did go to urgent care last week, but that was for bronchitis, although I did have it at the same time. But it wasn't so painful that it felt like I really needed to get it checked out. But once my period came on Sunday, I haven't had the throbbing since. Knock on wood. And also, knock on wood, because I haven't had any of my other types of migraines. The heavier than normal part, I tend to use super tampons the most, and I usually go through those at the very beginning, 4 to 5 hours-ish, I want to say. If I'm going to the bathroom, then I know that I need to change it, but it doesn't usually leak through. I also wear pads at the same time. But I noticed that I was going through them within like 2 or 3 hours, which is not normal for me and has only been that way since I took the Plan B pill 2 weeks ago. I'll say this though, I also took Midol for the first time yesterday. Normally I take anything chewable or liquid, so my main go-to for my pain is the Goodies powder, the orange flavor. Tastes like candy and it's easier for me to take because for some reason pills just psych me out. They freak me out and I'm always worried that I'm gonna choke on them. But last week I've taken a bunch of antibiotics and steroids for my bronchitis and my allergies, which I just got diagnosed with. I was hoping maybe I could, you know, be okay, but the Midol pills were just ever so slightly bigger than my bronchitis antibiotics. However, with a little bit of deep breathing and, you know, trying to encourage myself, I did manage to take them. They were working pretty quickly and pretty well. They lasted almost the whole entire day until like maybe around 9 o'clock, so about like 10 hours later. And I could probably, you know, afford to take them again right now, but I'm a little nervous. Just the pills, man, they are easier to get down because they're supposed to be like gel caps, but they're not like the traditional gel caps that I've seen. Like I have some gel caps that I take along with my bronchitis antibiotics that I did finish. This one I'm almost done with. Well, first of all, they're very, very tiny, so that plays a role in how easy that is. But they're like actually like gel feeling, whereas the gel capsules or whatever that the Midol is supposed to be still kind of feel like a traditional pill, but at the same time, not really. Now granted, I know I could just cut them. I took them in the car yesterday, so that's why I didn't. I'm proud of myself. I don't really want to do that again. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about me being afraid to take pills. Because I will swallow regular food and more than I should be at one time just fine most of the time. But for some reason pills freak me out, and I have tried taking a sip of water, holding that water in, and then putting the pill in, which seems to be a little bit easier than just putting the pill in first and then the water. But still, someone teach me somehow via text how to do pills properly, because they worry me. Occasionally I'll choke on them a little bit, but you know, take some drink and then it's fine. But I get scared and think I'm gonna die. So there's that. Props to everyone who can take like multiple of these size pills at once. I don't know how y'all do it, besides being used to it, but damn. So yes, I'm on day 3 now essentially, because my period started on the 1st. Today is the 3rd. Happy Man Girls Day. And I am cramping a little bit. It's not too bad. My tailbone always sucks no matter how little or how big the pain is. Okay, if it's big pain, obviously that's a lot worse, but 2-time broken tailbone and whatever level, it sucks and I don't like it. Cramps, now that I'm talking about it, seems to be coming a little bit higher. On average, my periods tend to last nowadays 3 to 4 days. I want to say that it starts to lessen by day 3, and then by day 4 it's like mostly obsolete. So it doesn't seem to be affecting how long my actual period is, which works for me because I tend to be out for the count and not wanting to do anything, and then I get gross, my apartment gets gross, and my workload gets backed up even more because I just don't want to do anything because my body doesn't want to let me. It's already hard enough when I'm not on my period, being chronically pained and fatigued. So add in, you know, losing blood for a couple of days doesn't help very much. So yeah, right now I just feel like very tired and worn out. Granted, it also has to do with the fact that the fire trucks were here at my complex last night at 3:30 in the morning. So I think every single one of us in this building and the one right in front of me is tired because we all had to get out at 3:30. I told myself that I really wanted to film this. I just, you know, didn't get fancy for it. I didn't really do much. I did put my hair up in a nicer bun so it didn't look like half lopsided like when I got out of bed this morning and went to go get a bagel. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it was worth it to take it. Now I do know that I've read a lot about how if you're over, the weight number has changed. Like it seems like the number changes with every post and every text from someone that I read. But if you're over 150 pounds, 165, 175, your chances are practically non-existent of it working. I mean, who knows? All I know is I have my period, so works for me. I did make a post about this on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, and a friend of mine told me that the same thing was happening to her. She had the worst period, or at least one of the worst periods of her life, when she had to take Plan B, and she wasn't prepared. I knew that it was maybe gonna happen because I did read up on it, but I guess you never really know until it actually hits you. So that's my experience with taking Plan B and how my period affected me afterwards, especially as a disabled person with chronic pain and chronic fatigue. I can imagine, you know, someone who doesn't deal with chronic pain and fatigue, it would suck for them. Like, I don't think my friend who I just talked about really deals with chronic pain and chronic fatigue. So, you know, if you're already dealing with that stuff on a regular basis, you know, doubling up on that just sucks. But I am definitely taking it as easy today, and I am just gonna film this. I'm going to edit this and hopefully get this up tomorrow, and yeah, and then we can get started on Disability Awareness Month, because I know I slacked off yet again for Deaf Awareness Month for probably the second, third year in a row. In my defense, I got sick, because of course I did. But we're gonna roll over some of the topics I had in mind for this month, because technically it still works. Deafness, disability still works. But of course, if you are interested in having some more content, I do post on Instagram, I post on TikTok. I've at least been trying to get shorts here out. I know not a lot of people really care for YouTube shorts, but I will say, if I hadn't been posting shorts, does it help with my paycheck at all? No, I'm not getting a YouTube paycheck next month again. But it has helped with my analytics and growing my channel, at least views wise. So I appreciate if you're still sticking with me, you know, as I upload these shorts like almost every single day. But I do upload a lot to Instagram and TikTok especially. TikTok is just like random whatever. So if you want a more chill, non-scripted version of me, and there you go. But of course there is Patreon. Patreon really helps me out. It's the first paycheck that I get every month. Goes towards my car payment, especially. And I pay rent now, so all of that. You will get exclusive content, you know, personal essays, movie reviews, things like that. I kind of want to do a book club thing, but I'm not entirely sure how one goes about that. But NaNoWriMo is coming up. I don't know how well we're going to be doing NaNoWriMo this year either, because I have a work project that takes up my time. So we shall see, but I am hoping. If you have not yet subscribed, I would absolutely love it and appreciate it if you did so, and if you would hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Hopefully. YouTube, please send videos out to subscription boxes. That would be wonderful. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, especially if you're sitting here in the middle of a rainy day like I am. And I will see you later.